It's cold, it's windy, and it's spectacular. We're on the Swartberg Pass, a pass built by Thomas Baines back in 1886, and which today is one of the iconic mountain passes for people traveling through South Africa. Of course, we're not really here to admire the view. We're here to find out whether the new Land Rover Discovery Sport is as good off the road as it is on it.
In our previous insert, we drove the turbo diesel-powered SD4 version of the Disco Sport, tackling some twisty tar roads on the way. But now we've swapped the SD4 for a 2-litre turbo petrol-engined Si4 HSE, and the tyres made way for gravel. After all, the Disco Sport is a Land Rover, and it should shine on the rough stuff too.
There's something appealingly authentic about a dirty, dusty SUV, especially considering we often see these vehicles on the road looking absolutely pristine. I have to say, the Discovery Sport also looks the off-road part with its compact dimensions, its short overhangs and that raised ride height. But looking at the wheels and tyres, I wouldn't like to go through Africa driving on some very big, very low-profile tyres. And I think if you're going to be serious about taking this vehicle off-road, you should look at something a little bit tougher and with a higher profile.
To be fair, those 20-inch wheels are optional, and the Discovery Sport has clearly been designed to cope with less than ideal terrain. Approach and departure angles are impressive at 25 and 31 degrees respectively, while maximum wading depth is 600 millimeters. The center coupling seamlessly moves power between the front and rear axles for optimum grip.
Land Rover would like to think that the Discovery Sport is a cut above as far as off-road capability is concerned, and one of the reasons why is the terrain response system. It's a system that fine-tunes parameters such as the gearbox, the four-wheel drive system, the throttle response and the steering to best suit specific parameters. For instance, you can set it for slippery conditions like we're driving here on gravel, some mud and snow, ruts and sand. And it's really a preset way to optimize the vehicle for those conditions.
Terrain response doesn't transform the Disco Sport into a gung-ho bundu basher, but it optimizes vehicle dynamics for particular situations and helps the driver to make the most of the vehicle's talents. As a result, the Sport is more capable than the City Slicker Evoque, but it won't keep up with the Discovery in the rough stuff.
Any Land Rover Discovery Sport owner intent on spending a significant amount of time off the road is likely to opt for the 2.2-litre turbo diesel engine. However, I have to say this 4-cylinder turbo petrol engine is pretty good off the road as well. It produces 177 kilowatts of maximum power, 340 newton meters of torque, and of course it doesn't have the low-down grunt of the diesel, and it is a little bit more laggy, but it's smooth and competent.
It's more difficult to modulate throttle input in the case of the petrol engine when negotiating rough terrain at slow speeds, and we miss the diesel's inherent tractability. But the petrol unit's free-revving character is well worth exploiting, as it makes for a more involving on-road driving experience.
Let's face it, your typical Discovery Sport owner is unlikely to want to tackle real 4x4 terrain, but they will want to be able to travel extended distances on gravel of varying quality. The vehicle certainly lives up to those expectations. It has the ground clearance, it has the traction, and it has the suspension articulation to actually cope quite well with fairly tough terrain. The only shortcoming compared to the Discovery, in fact, is the fact that it does not have low range.
It's a shortcoming that does limit what the Discovery Sport can do off the beaten track, especially when drivers rely on the vehicle's systems to make up for their own lack of experience. But then most SUVs won't venture beyond the occasional farm track or game reserve access road.
The Land Rover Discovery Sport is not about conquering Africa or winning some 4x4 challenge. Instead, it's about coping with a wide variety of conditions while also delivering safety, comfort and space. And let's not forget, of course, that it does have that 5.2 3-row seat configuration. I have to say it's pretty entertaining on the road and very capable off the road. But, as we said before, if you're serious about spending time with this vehicle in gravel conditions, you're probably better off with a diesel than this turbo petrol.
The engaging 4-cylinder turbo petrol is a pleasure on tar, but less easily modulated over rougher terrain. At least the auto box always seems to find the right gear. The chassis and suspension have what it takes regardless of terrain, while space, refinement and versatility remain top-notch too. But pressing on compromises economy. The Si4 is the better choice for tar, but we'd opt for the SD4 turbo diesel when heading off-road.